We're making Pop-Tarts better and vegan. So ready. Yeah. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Andrew. I'm part of a duo creating recipes at makeitdairyfree.com. Today we have a recipe that is so versatile, so amazing, and it is insanely easier than it looks to create. And this recipe is, it's not just for kids. Yes, these are adult Pop-Tarts. So not like that. Not like these aren't triple X Pop-Tarts. It ain't that kind of party. Although there is some serious food porn on this channel, if you know what I mean. What we're gonna be going over today is literally the basics. I wanna help inspire creations of your own. And to all my folks who just need to be more efficient, make sure you listen closely, because I always go over ways for you to create the recipe and really save yourself some time and energy in the kitchen. All right, guys, enough said. Let's do it. We're gonna start out by making the pastry, or I guess you can call it the crust. This is what we're gonna stuff all of our filling in. Just an FYI, the crust doubles down as a pie crust, so get good at making this. This way, when the season comes to chef up some pies, you're already ahead of the game. To start, you're gonna add all of the dry ingredients and give it a whisk. Then, with your shortening, you're gonna do what's called cutting it into the flour. Basically, you're using a pastry cutter, or a fork in my case, to press the shortening into the flour. You'll do this just for a few minutes until your mixture begins to look sort of like sand. From here, you want to get your milk and vanilla together and then pour that into the mixture. With your fork, you're gonna stir that around until it starts to come together. Once you can't do that anymore, you can begin to take that and put it onto the counter. Let me say this, when you add the milk in and you begin to stir, it may look sort of like it's too dry, like you don't have enough liquid. Just be patient and confident and keep it moving, and trust me, it's gonna come together. You can see pretty much here, as I get it onto the counter, it does look a little bit crumbly. Simply take the dough and press it together to begin to create your dough ball. And from here, you could either store it in a bowl or you could put it in a wrap. Then store that in the fridge until you're ready to use it. Now, if you wanted to get this part done really quickly, there's items sometimes at grocery stores called either puff pastry or pastry sheets. Just be sure to look at the ingredient list to make sure that it's vegan. This could in turn be used as a crust instead of doing it homemade in order to make things quicker. So here's the fun part. We're gonna be making a filling. If you tune into makeitdairyfree.com, on the website, we already have recipes for cherry, strawberry, blueberry, and brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you how to do the last two, but also how you can make this nice and quick if you needed to. For the blueberry, we're gonna start getting this going into a saucepan. For any of the Pop-Tarts that have fruit, you could use either fresh or frozen fruit in order to make it happen. Now, our blueberries are gonna be followed up by some sugar, lemon juice, and water. Then we're gonna turn the heat up a little bit in order to bring our mixture to a boil. And from there, as the fruit begins to break down, we're gonna use a potato masher to help move it along. We're gonna lower the mixture just a bit, but still allow it to boil. We're gonna reduce it for about 8 to about 10 minutes. While we have that going, we're gonna get our cornstarch and water into a mixture together. And when you're ready, you wanna remove the pan from the heat and add your water and cornstarch mixture, but you wanna stir consistently as you do so. The mixture will begin to get thick really quickly. And just like that, you're done. From here, now just remove everything from the pot, Put it in a separate bowl or something like that and allow it to cool before adding it into your Pop-Tarts. So the brown sugar one is honestly my fave because it is the easiest and quickest one to knock out. Literally, you're just taking 4 ingredients and you're just adding them into each other, and then from there you just mix it together. Once it's combined, boom, you're done. This thing is so simple, but so tasty. The dough recipe we used is to make 8 total Pop-Tarts. What I like to do when rolling it out, I rather split the dough in half because it's just more manageable for me personally. Before putting the dough down, you wanna make sure your surface is floured. But I also like to use either parchment paper or wax paper as a layer just in between the counter and the dough. Once I get the dough down, a little bit more flour, I push it down a bit just so it's stable and not a round circle anymore. And then I add 1 more sheet of either parchment paper or wax paper above. Carefully take your time and roll the dough out. You want it to measure, I would say, about 1/8 of an inch thickness. But when I'm doing this, I am less concerned with the thickness of it and more concerned with the length and the width of the dough. You're looking to get a good 9 by 12. Grab your ruler, your daughter's ruler. Okay, so there's a story behind this ruler, just this isn't the time for it. But you know what? I could kind of feel you judging me here, so I'm gonna make some time for this ruler. Measure the dough and make cuts to the dimensions you need. Then on your longest side, which should be the 12-inch side, make cuts 3 inches apart. Should have made a total of 3 cuts, which now makes 4 separate pieces of dough. All right, so from here, we're gonna brush a little milk on the pastry just to allow it to become more adherent when we want to put it together. Add the filling of your choice about 1 inch or so from the bottom of the pastry, just like you see here, but also make sure it's in the middle. Fold the pastry over from the top, now connecting to the bottom. Then use a fork to easily crimp each of the sides. I made mention before, there's a way you can speed up this entire process of making the filling. So on one of the Pop-Tarts, like I show here, I actually used a strawberry jam. You could do this or use a preserve in this portion of it in order to speed up the process entirely. When complete, you're gonna brush the outside of the Pop-Tart with a little more vegan milk, then you're gonna bring it right to the oven. So this part is easy. Each icing you make is literally the same ingredient, and maybe just 1 small twist in between each one. All you're doing is getting powdered sugar, vegan milk or water, and vanilla extract into a bowl. Simply whisk that together. If making the cinnamon one, you would add cinnamon here as well. One tip I have here is to use the least amount of milk as possible in your mixture. I usually end up between a tablespoon or 2 at its max. The mixture is gonna look really thick as you mix it together, but that's a good thing because when you get it onto the Pop-Tarts, you don't want it running everywhere or soaking too much into it and just looking like a glaze. Having it thick allows it to slow down and it will seize up really good in a very organic shape on top of the Pop-Tart. Once your Pop-Tart is cooled down, this is where you want to start to add your icing. Carefully layer the icing on top of the Pop-Tart, spread it out, and make whatever organic shape you like. From here, allow it to dry just a little bit, maybe about a minute or 2, and then you're gonna add some sprinkles right on top. This will add just a little bit more flair to the Pop-Tart and have it resemble kind of the ones that are original. The sprinkle ideas I use are either dried fruit or I crush up some cereal that we have. All right, fam. I hope you guys have a lot of fun with this one. Don't forget to make it and share your pictures and let us know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video and share our vegan food with your besties. And always, believe in good. Peace.
Hey, Daddy, what's wrong?
Nothing. Just wish Chadwick could have had one of these Pop-Tarts.
Me too, Dad.